we're back. Welcome, everybody. I am Travis Blythe with Corner 6 Labs, and this is the Lab Report. And today we are going to be talking sports and nothing but sports. This is our sports show. So if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us on our website at www.corner6labs.com. Check us out. You can also reach us on Twitter at Corner 6 Labs. It's the number 6 Labs at Corner 6 Labs. You can also find our Facebook fan page and like us, and shoot us a message either way, and you'll get a hold of us, and we'll go from there. Today's guest, we're just going to dive right into it because the majority of the types of businesses that we market to, by the way, are sports-related industries. We do everything from boot camps to physical fitness trainers. We've got nutritionists. We've got the mental trainers that do everything, mentally to help train your body like physically. So we're a sports-related marketing firm. So we're going to talk to some sports guys. And Jimmy, feel free to chime in because you are wearing the lucky black and silver today. So I'm sure that's a good sign.
I didn't think that
would
ever live to the point where that would be considered lucky. I didn't think that was possible.
I mean, if somebody would have told me at the beginning of the season that the Raiders were going to be in the hunt for the playoffs and the Cowboys would be 1-7 and all but completely out of it, had fired a head coach mid-season, I'd have been like, no, that sounds, as crazy as Jerry is, that sounds way more Al Davis to me.
Yeah.
Almost like the Rangers going to the World Series, who knew?
The entire world flipped upside down this year when it comes to sports. That's really what happened. I mean, that's basically the gist of things.
I think DFW just can't handle more than one good sports team at a time. I mean, it just completely just can't hold it.
So without further ado, before we get going and start just getting off topic here, I want to welcome Blake Hickerson with Off the Bench. Welcome to the show, Blake.
Oh, thank you for having me on, man.
So tell me a little bit more about your show. When are you guys on?
We are right here Mondays and Fridays, 9 to 11 a.m., and we also are on the mighty 1190 a.m. Mondays, 11 p.m. to midnight.
Right on. That's late. That's late.
Yeah. it's
wow, man.
Wow. The mighty 1190 is absolutely a term of endearment due to the power down that happens at 8. We're broadcasting to truckers as they just pass that one stretch of 30.
There you go. Right on. So, how long have you been in radio?
Oh, I've been in radio since, I believe, I think 06 or 07.
And what got you started? Did you start off as, wanting to be a host of your own show, or did you take a...
That was the dream.
Or did you take the intern to producer route?
No, I did some interning. I interned with ESPN. And that was fantastic. It was, I did I put together a lot of commercials. But pretty much my day-to-day was putting together commercials for the Colin Cowherd Show and Mike in the Morning, and then doing post-game for the Cowboys, Stars, and Mavericks. And, it was a lot better than, hey, get me coffee type thing.
Right on.
But when it came down to it, it wasn't really a situation that I wanted to stick around with. At that area.
So how long have you been doing this show, the Off the Bench show?
Off the Bench, I think we're getting close to about 6 months.
And is that both on the mighty 1190 and the Justin TV side, or
we've been with Justin TV about 3 months,
okay.
And we've been with 1190 1 month. So I mean, since we've started, the studio here is moving next door. So that will be, since Off the Bench started, that will be the 4th studio we've been in 6 months. So
wow, I didn't even realize that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I really plan on just taking all my radio gear up here with a stick with a bandana tied to it, because I feel like kind of the hobo of radio, just haven't quite found that warm, loving home to cuddle me.
You get to the point where it's like, is it me? I mean, why do we keep moving?
Well, anytime in radio, especially growing up, I assumed that I'm gonna have to move around a little bit, but I always assumed that there'd be 3, 4, at least 5, 6 months. And, a stretch between moving, but, week to week, I guess. That's a whole different approach.
Yeah.
You show up and the show's moved and they didn't tell you, so at least they're telling you that they're moving next door.
Yeah, they've let me know, but yeah, it's been interesting to say the least, the amount of moving that we've done. But it's been good. I think every place that we've gone has been a complete upgrade. So I mean, all the moves have been upward for us. So that's a good thing. And I mean, it's progressing quickly, and that's.
And now, have
really
you always
nice.
done sports talk, or have you done any other formats?
No, I did just general talk at one point, but that was unfortunately a market that kind of just went away, unfortunately, and it's starting to make a comeback. That's some just alternative talk, kind of like a really bad radio. And stuff like that is starting to find a way to get back on there. But no, that's actually what I'd started out wanting to do. But when it came down to it, those stations were more on a decline. And I played sports, and I've always been a huge sports guy. Well, I mean, one thing that I realized while I was at ESPN was, you can get too much of something you love. But getting back into it, I'm loving it. It's working for me. But, I'd originally wanted to get into just kind of a, topical thing. But now I'm really loving doing the off-the-bench thing, work with a couple of great guys, Jordan Amati and J.D. Fry. And we've all known each other for forever. Both J.D. and I got into radio unbeknownst to each other. I mean, we hadn't seen each other in years. And I, saw, thanks to social media and stuff like that, found out that he was – while I was with ESPN, he was with another station. He was board hopping for a show, and we both kind of, were released about the same time and had kind of talked about, maybe putting something together. And Jordan is a guy who, I see from time to time, and we pretty much just butt heads about everything when it comes to sports and stuff like that.
That's the making of a good show.
Yeah, so I mean, we just kind of really, I mean, the whole thing. Just kind of thrown together, and it's really progressed nicely so far.
I have to say that I used to think I had a deep voice, but sitting here between these two bookends, I feel like I'm a falsetto up here talking to these guys. It's really, really weird.
Yeah, I always in school I was the kid who got the ends on the report card for stays quiet in class because my whisper. I mean, I was the worst secret teller of all time.
Yeah.
We're like, God, I hate that teacher. And she's like, really? You just say that out loud? Like, I thought I was whispering.
It was your best attempt, man. That's
It
all that
was.
matters.
It was.
So tell me, one last thing. Topic that I want to cover on my list is, what are you guys doing to promote your show other than obviously being on the airwaves and coming here? You said you had a Facebook fan page earlier, and are you using the some of the other outlets like Twitter and all that stuff?
We've got Twitter and Facebook and some stuff like that. No MySpace. There's no need for it.
No, I think MySpace is done.
Yeah, MySpace.
Sorry,
MySpace
MySpace
is probably where our show belongs. That's where we're going to be. That's our next studio is the MySpace studios. That's our next move.
Wow. So tell me, what? Obviously, we've got some big topics in town going on right now with this whole cowboy fiasco. But what have you heard? What's the pulse right now?
Well, I think it's mixed. I think people are glad that it's a change, but not exactly the dramatic change I think a lot of people were hoping for.
Did you hear his press conference yesterday?
He in 14 minutes, he received and answered 38 questions.
I know.
That would have taken Wade Phillips about 4 hours to get done.
And I was impressed, too, that he was very to the point and direct, and kind of made me want to go play football for him. I'm like, yeah, we're going to work early. We're wearing pads. It's like a real football team now.
You're running in between drills. You're not walking anywhere. You're not on the sideline sitting on water coolers or playing dominoes. And,
right.
Stuff like that.
I guess Camp Cupcake is over.
It is completely over, and that was one of the most ridiculous things ever. I mean, there's still people with other priorities that you kind of have to rein in as far as being a football coach. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to think that, hey, everyone's adults here. You can let everybody to their own devices. But when it comes down to it, what job can you do that in? I mean, if you look at, you know, a bunch of the people who have the regular 9 to 5s, and you get on Facebook, they're all on there.
Right.
They're not,
Right.
you know, crunching the numbers at, you know.
Well, I think one of the big differences, though, is us lay people, as we put it. You know, we're not making millions and millions of dollars at our job, so, you know, at least we're held accountable. If we're not doing our job or faulting and not showing up and being late, there are consequences. And these guys, sometimes these star players, nothing ever happens to them. You know,
Well, it's because when it comes down to it, I mean, it's a lot easier to let go of one guy than let go of 53.
yeah.
And,
Wade should have been gone 2 years ago, probably. So
He should have, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens here because I'm of the opinion that this team has so many problems that it's better off for them to go 1-15 as opposed to 8-8 because that way you got draft picks that you shouldn't be able to miss on. You shouldn't be able to miss on a top 5 in the first, second, or third round, and really you shouldn't be missing on those rounds no matter what position you're drafting out of. Those rounds are usually filled with a lot of talent that you can go out there and plug in. A lot of them, not necessarily right away, but very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we go 1-16, we're going to have an upgrade at those talent positions, and we need help in the secondary. Our D line has been decimated. We're down to 3 or 4 healthy people on the defensive line right now. The linebackers we've seen, they've been exposed. They're old. They don't move as quickly.
I don't even
as
know
they
who those
used
guys
to.
were they brought in yesterday for the D line that they signed. I was like, who?
Yeah, they've you know, they had some injuries. They had some young guys who were really stepping up, and it's unfortunate that they kind of went down with some injuries because that was one of the things I was hoping for when we had this regime change was that you're going to get some of the younger guys in there, but at the same time, you got a guy who's auditioning for a job, and the last thing he wants to do is see what kind of talent he has if that's for somebody else next season.
Yep,
I mean,
I've heard that argument. So you think Jenkins, is he overrated or did he give up?
I think I ruined Jenkins' career personally. I went out in the off season and I purchased
A jersey?
a Mike Jenkins jersey, and since then it's been nothing good. And I really feel bad for Jason Witten because I just won a authentic Jason Witten jersey at a bar last week, and somebody traded me Jason Witten in fantasy football, and I think his head's going to fall off now because.
Well,
I've
you
just
know,
got
he
awful
is
luck when it comes to these
I've got
things.
him on my team too, and the only saving grace right now is that Kitna. That's the only guy Kitna likes to throw to.
Yeah, because he can't really make those throws deep down the field. I was shocked when I got the trade at 11 o'clock last night.
Well, they knew you were awake, so.
Well, I figured they were on an ambient-filled rage of some sort, and was like, trade them all.
Yeah, really. So what else is going on? What else you guys got? The hot topic right now in town. I know the Rangers kind of passed, and we gave Washington an extension.
Well, one of the things that we've got going on with our show, I'll get into the Rangers in just a second. One thing the big thing we've got going on in our show, you can't see it because I hide it well, but I'm a bigger dude. I've let myself go just a little bit, and starting Monday, we're bringing in the scales. My 2 co-hosts, one, his scale won't even read his weight anymore. It just says OL.
Get off.
And the other guy, he's probably about 260, 270. So we're starting now on Monday. We're weight loss challenge. We're all.
And how are you accomplishing this?
I have no idea. A couple of weeks before, we just got ourselves into who can eat the 4.5-pound sandwich quickest.
Yeah.
So.
This is something that happens in radio notoriously, and I always love this because you're gonna end up watching what used to be a happy-go-lucky show where guys, genuinely enjoy being around each other, and now they're angry. They haven't eaten properly. Now they just don't even want to look at each other. The show's gonna get more interesting,
especially with JD's sunny disposition on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Well,
he still hasn't gotten used to the fact that we have a 9 o'clock in the morning show. That's still.
How is the question I have is it seems kind of unfair to you if you've got 2 bigger gentlemen, you're not exactly in their category. So I mean, how, are you doing body fat percentages?
Percentages.
I mean, you don't seem like you have hundreds of pounds to lose.
I'm deceptively about 230 pounds.